Let's head down to the car show. It's SEMA time, we gotta go. Underneath the Vegas lights, we are here for the auto sight. Trucks are lifted heaven high, burnout smoke drifts to the sky. Holman has but one goal in mind, it's to cover the show in the allotted time. It's SEMA, it's SEMA time.
The truck show, we're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck, 'cause truck rhymes with the truck show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel, electricity, and on gasoline. The truck show, the truck show, the truck show. Oh, oh.
It's the Truck Show with your host, Holman.
Glad to have you back for this episode of the Truck Show podcast. I am indeed your host, Holman. And as we get close to wrapping up our SEMA content with this episode, it's part 4, I wanted to take you through a slew of new products that were introduced at the show and caught my eyes. Of course, we need to shout out our awesome sponsors before we get into it, so here we go. The Truck Show podcast is proudly brought to you in partnership with AMSOIL, the maker of the best synthetics and the same ones we use in our rigs. With the holidays upon us, we have a great promotion to share with you. AMSOIL has new merch just in time for the holidays, including new t-shirt designs. From now until December 31st, take advantage of AMSOIL's holiday offer. Spend $125 or more on synthetic oil, lubricants, greases, car care products, and yes, even merch and t-shirts. And get the AMSOIL Blocks UTV set for free. Use the promo code Holman2025 at checkout on AMSOIL.com. And while you're out holiday shopping, consider getting your loved ones or yourself a brand new Kershaw knife for 40% off MSRP. This includes automatics, and the code can be used more than once. Kershaw has an extensive lineup with knives ranging from EDCs that you will not be afraid to abuse, all the way up to premium made in the USA knives you want to share with your friends. Heck, you can even share the promo code with your friends. More knives for everyone. The promo code is 2TSP2025. And get those gifts for your family, friends, or yourselves today at kershaw.kaiusa.com. OVR Magazine also makes for a great gift. If you want the latest in adventure, gear, and upgrades for your vehicle, go to OVRmag.com and use the code at Truck Show Podcast at checkout for a discount on print or a 1-year digital subscription for free. Please help me to keep the Truck Show Podcast free by supporting our sponsors or leaving reviews on Apple or Spotify. And don't forget to check the TruckShowPodcast.com website for the latest deals. All right, so like I was saying, there is a ton of new products that were at the SEMA show, as usual. And I got to browse the section. I spent, I want to say almost half a day looking at all sorts of different stuff. And these are sort of the ones that caught my eye. So we have a lot to cover. Figured I would take you through it. So the first ones I'll start with were the 3 that I chose as part of my role as a judge for SEMA, and this was for the Media Choice Award. So SEMA gathered up a bunch of journalists from around the industry and said, have at our new product section, pick 3 that you like, and they get a special award. And so these are the 3 that I thought were kind of the coolest. It was hard. It was really hard to decide, but the first one was from a company called Caliber, and it's called the Apex Skylift. And basically what it is it makes taking your hardtop off your Jeep really easy. And since I'm a Jeep guy, this is always a thing. Like, who wants to take the hardtop off? I know it's only like 8 bolts, but it's so awkward. You don't want to drop it and crack the fiberglass. You usually need a friend. You got to get, pop the hatch, get under it, lift up from the inside and walk off with like you're wearing this top as a helmet. It's never easy. So the guys over at Caliber designed this Apex Skylift. And what they do is they mount rails between the body to the hardtop. And once these rails are mounted to the top, they have handles that just slide on and lock into place. And now you have 2 handles per side under the rear glass that 2 people can easily lift the top from. I mean, it's sort of like that's really stupidly simple. There's integrated feet, so they protect the top when you set it on the ground. And once back on the vehicle, the rails stay with the top, but the handles slide right on off and can be stored in the vehicle for the next time or on your workbench or your shelf or whatever. So I thought that was really cool. If you're interested in knowing more about Caliber, you can head over to caliberproductsinc.com. And then the next award that I chose went to Red Arc. As you guys know, from an overlanding standpoint, I'm really impressed with everything Red Arc, with their power management systems. I've been running them for years. Australian company, amazing stuff. You probably heard about this in our interview. But the RedWorks power panel, and coming in 3 configurations, Scout, Nomad, and Pioneer. Basically, it's an all-in-one 12-volt power distribution system. And then it's scalable. And what I love about it is you can get DC and solar charging, real-time battery monitoring, start battery recovery, smart system control through app or display, your choice depending on what level you get. And then you have all this great data and information, but the beauty is this power panel, before you used to have to get the battery charger, and you used to have to get the fuse block, and you used to have to make all the connections, and you used to have to get the maxi fuse, and all these things. Everything is mounted on a plate, which is mounted to MOLLE or to a cabinet, and it's got a nice cover on it. So they've basically created your whole hub for your power with one panel that everything just plugs into. And in addition to that, not just plugs in for power, but you connect everything for power, and then you have Anderson SB50 connectors. So like on the case of the Nomad, which is a 50 amp panel, you have power out, you've got your solar in for recharging, you've got additional circuits that you can use. It's just a really great setup. So if you want to find out more about that, redarcelectronics.com. That's REDARC. And then the last product that I chose as part of my cool journalist media awards was Suspension Direct Incorporated, or SDI. And we've had them on the show before, and we have talked about their E-Click, which is their basically electronic suspension that you can put the reservoirs on and replace them on any of your monotube reservoir racing shocks. And they've got a computer and everything in different modes. And so before it was vehicle specific, it'd be like, oh, we have this for Raptor, we have this for Wrangler, we have this for Ram, whatever the case. Toyota was a big application. Well, now at SEMA, they released the Universal Kit, and I think that is super awesome. So they're saying smarter, faster, more connected. The SDI E-Click Universal now features a dual-core processor in auto mode that chooses the terrain setting automatically, tighter CAN bus integration, and the ultimate electronic suspension controller for remote reservoir shock. So the included terrain modes on the Universal system is street mode. Then you have trail mode. You have desert mode. And then, of course, you've got the aforementioned auto mode. So that's pretty cool. Because every vehicle and driver are different, they have a pro menu adjustment that allows them to fine-tune it to your needs for pitch, roll, turn, throttle, brake sensitivities. There's rear load compensation. There's 2 reservoir lengths available depending on what size your shocks are. Customizable display settings. Universal mounting solutions. So the kit includes 4 reservoirs, a IMU with mounting bracket, ECU, touchscreen, universal screen mounting bracket, universal harness. Pretty awesome if you, let's say, have a Super Duty with reservoir shocks on it already, or an application they don't have and you want to add it. So I thought that was really cool. You can find out more about that by heading over to suspensiondirect.com. And 8.5-inch reservoirs, I think that's the longer system. I think it's 8.5 and 6.5. It's basically $2,600 for active suspension, or I guess you would technically be semi-active suspension, which is pretty rad. So anyway, that caught my eye. I've been a fan of SDI, and the fact that they have this universal kit for their remote reservoir shocks that'll work with whatever you got, pretty awesome. QA1. So there's a lot of late model or kind of late model adjacent GM kits out there, and QA1 has the 99 to 06 GM truck two-wheel drive suspension system. So these kits are a complete bolt-on solution that are designed for two-wheel drive, short and long bed Silverado and Sierra models. It includes the QA1 front pro coil system, drop spindles, upgraded control arms, beefy sway bars front and rear, and a torque arm rear suspension. I mean, It's pretty awesome. So essentially, you get the double adjustable rear coilovers, you get 18 clicks of independent compression and rebound adjustment, up to 4 to 7 inches of drop. That's the range. You can set the stance you want and then work with your wheel and tire package. And then they take out the leaf spring, so that multi-link torque arm is designed to improve traction and ride quality. And then it eliminates suspension bind and helps kind of transfer the weight more effectively, which makes your truck launch way harder without having an issue with your pinion angle rotating too far. So this is, again, for 99 to 06 GM trucks, Silverado or Sierra. And you can use this kit to handle better, launch harder, and corner more confidently, as they say. A couple other things to note. You get the tubular front control arms for geometry. The 2-inch drop spindles give you the stance. 1.5-inch front sway bar, 1.25-inch rear sway bar to control body roll. It's a fully bolt-on kit and installs with basic hand tools, and it's made in the United States. So pretty rad. If you want to find out more about this, head to qa1.net. So one of these kits, depending on which truck you have, so this is a level 2 full vehicle handling kit for a Silverado Sierra 1500 two-wheel drive long bed, okay? $7,060 on their website for all of that, which seems like a pretty good deal for a fully vetted kit. I think that's going to be a winner for them. Mickey Thompson tried to break the internet. I don't know if you guys saw, but they released the Baja Belted 2. And so if you remember the Baja Belted, it was a big, wide tire back in the day for flotation and really popular in off-road. Mickey Thompson decided, hey, we're going to bring it back. So inspired by the aggressive style of the 80s lifted 4x4s. And by the way, there's a lot of Rusta mods right now that are going back to that vibe, that kind of 80s, 90s double shocks, small wheels, big tires. And they said, hey, let's put a tire on those things. It's built to meet the modern demands with new construction, but it's available, and check this, 15-inch, 16-inch, and 17-inch sizes. But they didn't just stop there. They said, well, we want to take care of that kind of like retrofitment crowd, but for you big Florida truck dudes, we're going to make it in 26s and 30-inch sizes as well, which is quite the statement. So from Mickey, they say, born from the deserts and reimagined for today, the Mickey Thompson Baja Belted 2 is here. It's a modern evolution of an off-road legend. The Baja Belted 2 captures the aggressive style of the 80s lifted 4x4 era, now engineered for today's demands. And the internet was abuzz when those things dropped. People were freaking out. It was kind of fun to watch. They also released the MT Classic forged wheels. So it's a monoblock forged wheel from 6061 T6 aluminum. And it has been precision engineered for strength, and then it was tailored to pair with the Baja Belted 2 series. And so they have the correct sizes, 14 to 16-inch crazy extreme widths, aggressive 3.5-inch back spacing, 15 to 17-inch diameter options, and it's a high polished finish. So if you're going for one of those classic Rustamod style builds, it's the perfect wheel and tire package for that. So that was pretty cool. So you can find out more by going to MickeyThompsonTires.com and checking those out. There's a company by the name of Intellitronics who does analog gauge panels, and so they put a really cool analog panel together for the 67 to 72 trucks. It's a direct fit, no cutting, includes senders, built in the USA by employee owners, lifetime warranty. So if you want to check those out, head over to IntellitronicsGauges.com. They look pretty rad to me. And moving right along, our friends over at Willwood have the TX6 Big Brake Truck Front Brake Kit. That's the same one that we've had Mike on before and talking about, and the same one I believe Lightning has on his TRX. Well, it's now available for Willwood's C10 Pro spindles. So the brake kit mounted on 16-inch rotors works exclusively on their modular C10 Pro spindles, and basically is exactly what C10 builders using 20-inch and larger wheels have been asking for. So 6 pistons, net forged, differential bore calipers, so you get a really good pedal feel, and keeps pad taper to a minimum when paired with the BP-Q brake pads that they offer. So that's, I think, going to be a big one for anyone who likes to build Chevy C10s and they want to go with a modern wheel and tire fitment. Of course, you can find out more at willwood.com. Our next one is the Dakota Digital Chevy GMC RTX instrument systems for 95 to 98 GM OBS trucks. Focuses on looking original, but there's modern technology, so it'll have pinpoint accuracy and reliability. If you look at it, it's designed to just look stock. You may mistake them for original equipment, which is cool, but they have LED backlighting, and you can change the colors and make it match your truck. So you get that kind of OE vibe. It looks right. It matches the truck, but there's a little bit of modern styling comes through the LED backlighting, which gives it a more modern glow and all that kind of stuff. So check those out at dakotadigital.com. Now, here's one of those kits that really caught my eye because it's a little bit different. I love the idea of the handling kits, don't get me wrong. But I cruised by Ride Tech, and they have a performance lowering system for the 21 to 25 GM Tahoe, Yukon, Escalade, Suburban, Denali. You know, the ones with independent rear suspension. So they basically have their HQ series coilovers that now support the 21 to 26 SUVs. And RideTech's coilover system improves the looks performance from the full-size platform without compromising on ride quality thanks to the RideTech Fox factory monotube coilovers. And the ride height adjustment is from 1 to 3 inches below stock. Then you also get beefy RideTech upper, front, and rear control arms to keep the alignment in check. The front upper strong arms correct camber, ball joint angle to proper wheel alignment, fully assembled ball joints and bushings, powder coated satin black. The rears correct the negative camber that becomes a factor when lowering the vehicles below 2 inches. Adjustable via RideTech's patented R joints, which are noise-free and require no lubrication or maintenance. Powder coated black as well. They're developed and manufactured with ISO 9001 certification in the USA. And that's a pretty cool kit. So they also went through and they said, hey, we have this confirmed wheel fitment. So they know that something as big as a 24 by 10 with a plus 25 millimeter offset or a 6.48 inch backspace running 305 3524s fits. That's going to be somebody's killer ride for sure. And the price isn't crazy. Right now, they've got it on their website for $2,500, which seems like a pretty good bargain for 4 coilovers and upper control arms. That's pretty rad. So anyway, go and check it out. It'll work with both 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive trucks. And there's a lot of people with those newer SUVs who wish they could slam it like they used to back in the days. And guess what? Now you can. All right, so staying with the Fox theme, this is pretty cool. Fox Factory has developed a live valve complete bolt-on system for a 21 Ford Bronco. What? So that's pretty cool, right? So rather than having a traditional passive suspension, which has a fixed level of damping in each shock, and basically is a compromise in different areas, you get a semi-active suspension, and it adjusts for every type of condition, whether you're on pavement, rock crawling, racing, desert, whatever. So their live valve system senses speed and pitch, locks in support on-road, and then it frees up compliance for ledges, sand, washouts, for less dive, less roll, more tire contact. And check this out, live valve monitors terrain and your driver inputs 400 times a second, so it's adapting to the truck's suspension all the time in every moment. And by controlling the damping at each corner, in all of the driving situations and environments, you always have a great feeling suspension no matter what you're doing. And if you go over to the Fox website, ridefox.com, look for the Ford Bronco 3.2 live valve, and you basically get 4 coilovers with finned reservoirs. They look amazing, but it's this is going to set you back a little bit. Are you ready for the price on this one? The price on this one? $8,995.95. Ooh. Well, if you want performance, I mean, it's still probably a bargain for what you're getting, but that's still a lot of cheddar. All right, moving to the blown engine category, Magnuson kind of came out with something pretty cool, and that's the TVS 2650 supercharger system for 24 to 25, so brand new Ford F-150 Coyotes. This thing is a monster. Okay, check this out. So they built the supercharger around their TVS 2650. This system delivers 78 more horsepower at the crank, 56% more torque, instant throttle response, and repeatable performance. It's a high helix 4-lobe rotor, moves more air with less heat, and dual high-efficiency charge air coolers with a low-temp heat exchanger and a high-flow pump keep the intake air temps under control pull after pull. And it's all designed with OE integration in mind. Billet hardware, optimized belt wrap to prevent slip, clean routing, plug-and-play wiring, So it's a truck that drives like stock until you get on it, and then it comes alive. So 78 horsepower, 78% horsepower. What do you think? You guys ready? 711 horsepower and 639 pound-feet of torque. What? Oh, man. Okay, so all I can think is I want that in a regular cab, short box F-150. I mean, that is super nutty. It would be fun. Like it wouldn't be that expensive to build that truck, especially if you did a more of a base model with just a 5-liter XL, and you could have the total sleeper, especially if you did it with the full-time setup so you can launch. I mean, that's a lot of power. And it's going forward. You ready for this? Do I need to do the drum roll again? 89,995. So 89,995, and it looks great. And you can get wrinkle black, texture red, or the texture for kind of cool blue color. Guess that would be grabber, and looks great. I mean, I want to go out and buy an F-150 short box and forget about my F-100 project and just go build that truck, because that looks like a whole lot of fun. All right, moving right along, our friends over at AMSOIL. You know we love AMSOIL, and I just wanted to bring this up. This is for their quick detailer. We talked about it on the last episode, I think, where they're talking about the chemistry behind it. So if you didn't hear that, they have a new quick detailer. AMSOIL's had such a great success with their car care product line that they said, hey, we need a quick detailer, so they added one in. So provides a fast and effective way to maintain your vehicle's finish between washes. So what they've done is used a blend of surfactants, and I'm saying that totally wrong, I know, cleaning agents with easy spray-on, wipe-off application, and it removes light dust and debris, won't scratch the surface because it brings everything up, and it enhances the gloss with a streak-free finish. And we've been really happy with the AMSOIL stuff because of that streak-free finish, especially on glass products and things like that. It's really nice when they develop a product that you just wipe it and go, and you don't have to come back and go, oh man, there's a big streak there. So it's also designed to be excellent lubrication for anyone who likes to do clay bar, which is pretty cool too. So again, spray on, wipe off, light dust and debris, streak-free, safe for clear coats and any coatings. And they also made it a really pleasant strawberry melon scent so that you, I guess, want to use it more and enjoy it. And actually, I'll be honest, I joke about that, but there are car care products sitting on my shelf that smell gnarly, and I just don't want to use them because it's not pleasant. So I love that AMSOIL engineers that into their products. You can go to AMSOIL.com to find out more about that and their entire lineup of car care products. They make a lot of really great car care products, and it's growing all the time. Their chemists have been super busy over there, and we love to see what they come out with year after year. Real quick, another one is the AMSOIL Tire Plus Trim Protectant, and I'll just get into this really quick. The reason I like this one, it's non-greasy, so it doesn't sling all over the side of your clean car, and it's a durable UV barrier. So hydrating properties that will condition exterior rubber and plastic, keeps the vehicle tire and trim looking fresh. It's designed with quick drying properties, so depending on how much you use, you can go with a satin or a gloss finish. And again, that UV barrier shields against dry rotting or that chalking and things like that. So again, AMSOIL.com, they're expanding their car care products and they're great. You guys know I Did It. They do some great steering columns. They came out with a couple of columns at SEMA for the GM crowd. So the 84 to 87 GM C10 square body steering column with multifunction switch and the 88 to 94 GM OBS trucks. So each of these are like a sleek column shift steering column. So tilt and ignition, incorporates a billet multifunction switch that provides the cruise control, wiper, dimmer functions on the turn and tilt levers. And there's a plug-and-play power control module that plugs directly into the original vehicle harness, and it has 8-position tilt, collapsible tube and shaft. And then the only thing added, the difference between the 88 and 94 and the 84 to 87 is the later ones have welded mounts as well. So thought those were pretty cool. You go to ididit.com. And our friends over at Cobb Tuning, again, we heard from Kirsten, but I wanted to bring it up again. Cobb Tuning access port for the 21 to 25 Ford F-150 Raptor. So now it supports Raptors through 2025. There's no ECU unlock required. Quick gains with their included calibrations. There's a broad network of pro tuners available. TCM tuning for improved driving experience. There's a customizable gauge cluster on the device for real-time data logging. With the click of a button for e-tuning, dynamic throttle control, tire size adjustment, and valet mode. That's pretty cool. Also, the Cobb Tuning high clearance exhaust turn down for Toyota Tacomas, the current generation 24 Plus. And if you've seen those trucks, their big stupid exhaust pipe hangs way low. So these high clearance exhaust tips add clearance for off-roading. Cast 304L stainless 2-bolt flange, consistent mating surface, counterbore, an integrated collar, moves the weld away from the mating surface, smooths transition to the factory exhaust, installs with factory hardware. It's mandrel bent 304L stainless /cut for ground clearance. So that's one of their new products. And then one last cool Cobb tuning product is the cold air intake for the 4th generation Toyota Tacoma. Increases power and performance, improves sound, mandrel bent tubing with wrinkled black powder coat finish, a reinforced composite airbox lid with closed cell foam gasket to seal out dust, dirt, and debris. High flow air filter protects your engine while letting it breathe. It's a direct bolt on and with the factory components for bolt on ease. All right, Blackview. I don't know if you guys have heard of Blackview. I've used them. I love them. I think they're some of the best dash cams out there. The app's okay, but the camera itself is really good. You can find them on Amazon. They have like an Amazon shop, which I think is probably where most people buy it. But you can go to blackviewnorthamerica.com. But one of the things they released is the new Elite 10 camera. So being a 2-channel system, the front camera records in 4K HDR, 30 frames per second. Rear camera captures in 4K UHD, 30 frames per second. Both have the Starvis 2 sensors, which are really good. And then the Elite 10 front camera employs high dynamic range, recording for crisp detail in challenging light, revealing things like license plates at night or shaded details in sunlight, which are really hard for dash cams. And then there's an advanced 12-bit 4K sensor that processes data from over 68 billion colors, so you get a finely tuned 8-bit output with superior color accuracy. So when you use the Blackview Ultra battery, the B130A or the B130X, it consumes under a milliamp in standby, and it enables over 12 months of continuous parking surveillance. And it has super fast, or they call it ultra fast, boot up speed. The camera takes less than a second to wake up and start recording, so it does not miss a beat. So you can go to blackviewnorthamerica.com. Great camera if you guys are looking for a recommendation from me on dash cams. All right, another one from Bolt. So we've talked about Bolt before. So Bolt is that great company that will basically key your locks to your vehicle key. And so one of the things that they released at SEMA is a 5/8" receiver lock for the Toyota center cut key. So those are a little bit different, where the edges are smooth and the cut is in the middle. So Bolt allows you to conveniently secure your hitch with the Bolt 5/8" receiver lock for Toyota center cut keys. They've redesigned the one key lock technology so it'll work now with the center key cut, and it's available on push button Toyota, Subaru vehicles. And then each lock's made with automotive grade hardware, and it's tested the same standard as the vehicle lock. So if you are looking for more information on those, by the way, they make them for all sorts of applications, Fords and Rams and Jeeps and everything else. Great product. It's boltlock.com, but they make all kinds of cool locks where the first time you use it, you push your factory key in it, and it automatically keys to that so that you have one key for everything, which is pretty rad, and you don't have a bunch of keys jingling around in your pocket. We haven't talked to them in a long time. It might be time to get them back on. Our friends over at Flated. By the way, they came by the studio, so hopefully the next couple of weeks I'll air that episode. I love those guys a lot. I mean, they're so rad. You may remember when we had them on before was right after, or not too long after, Shark Tank, and we got Ken to yell on an airplane when he was partially drunk and yelled, "I was on Shark Tank," on a full airplane, which was hilarious. I still can't believe we got him to do that. Anyway, Flated makes those really awesome camper shells that are inflatable with like the paddleboard material. And they've been innovating and making a bunch of stuff. We at OVR have been using their furniture for our displays, which is like a blow-up table and chairs. And you'll hear more about it when they're on the show. But they make a great product. So one of the products that I loved from SEMA, it's their new Flated air carrier, which they did a refresh on. So think of it as like a roof-mounted cargo box. I mean, think of a million companies that make them, a Yakima, Thule, whoever. Aerodynamic, except theirs is inflatable. So what's cool is because it's inflatable, it gives either 15 or 23 cubic feet of storage, depending on the size. It's one of the largest car-top cargo carriers in its class. But check this out. When you're done with it, it deflates and it rolls into a bag and you can just put it in your garage. And there's a side doors on it, so you can grab stuff from the outside, from the side of the vehicle. You don't have to clamshell it open and crawl on your roof. And it's super lightweight, so you basically are lowering the center of gravity by not having something heavy up there. And it's super durable. I believe you will hear a story where if you drive it into a parking structure, forgetting it's up there, it's durable enough to withstand that. So there's 2 mounting options. You can do built-in straps for vehicles with crossbars, or you can use the included straps that go through the side D-rings, and then you put them through your doors. So the air carrier basically fits any vehicle that has a rack or a place to connect. And it's funny, I looked on their website, and when we were talking, put them on a boat, you put them on trucks, cars, vans, side-by-sides, RVs. Like, there's a couple different sizes. They're great. Anyway, flated.com, Flated, and you can check out the air carrier. I was really impressed with it and thought that that thing was really cool. And again, I love the idea of you're putting something on your roof that's inflatable, so it's not banging around up there. It's quiet. If you're on a dirt road or something, it's not smashing into stuff. It's kind of like, it's inflated. It's like going against the pillow. So it's protected up there, and it's lightweight and all those things. And it's made to be aerodynamic too, so you don't get a lot of wind noise. I'm a fan. I think it's super cool. You guys could check it out if that's something that you think you could use in your life. Okay, Icon, and I think you'll hear him in the very last episode that's coming up of SEMA coverage this week, and that is the 2025 Toyota 4Runner, which has a 1 1/4 to 3 inch stage 4 suspension system with skid plates, and then the 2024 Lexus GX 550 1 1/4 to 3 inch lift. This is a stage 6. So the main difference, I think, is that the 4Runner gets a 2.5 inch shock and the Lexus gets a 3 inch shock. But they're pretty cool. So the description on the 4Runner is maximum wheel travel, superb suspension performance, up to 3 inches of lift, features full complement of billet control arms, 2.5 inch shocks with active damping adjustments via the IIC CDEV system, dual rate rear coil springs, and skid plate system for underbelly protection. So they're really moving the needle by giving you a full chassis solution that is skid plates as well as the suspension, and it's all designed to work in harmony, which is super cool. So when you move over to the Lexus, basically the same thing. The only difference is you get huge 3.0 shocks with the independent low-high speed damping adjustments. Via the CDXS, you get the dual rate coil springs, also get the skid plates for that as well. So that's pretty cool. So if you're going to do Icon suspension, head over to iconvehicledynamics.com. Now, this one is sort of a flyer, and I put this in here because it's cool. It's literally from a company called Grand General. I think they make a lot of big rig products. Listen, they make a metal hood ornament that's Sasquatch. I saw it and I'm like, that thing's cool. I don't care what anybody thinks. If you're mad enough to have Sasquatch on the leading edge of your hood, you're okay by me. So their description's funny. Add a touch of mystery to your build. Grand General and K&S Accessories are proud to release this new hood ornament of the legendary Bigfoot. This bold piece combines style, design, and uniqueness. Available in chrome or black and built from premium materials for durability. Definitely a conversation piece. GrandGeneral.com. Go check it out. Anyway, it's big too. It's cool. Stop making fun of me. I like it. Our friends over at Built Right, we've talked to Matt and the boys. I've been trying to get them back on for a while. We got to do that. But they had a really great idea. And this is their universal dual chase light kit, and it's a suction cup mount. So you can add basically high visibility rear lighting to any vehicle. So if you're in the desert especially, or dusty conditions, you know how having a rear chase light is a big deal. Obviously, they use it in racing in Baja and things like that. I've got a rear amber light on my Jeep when I'm leading trails because that's the only thing that cuts through all the dust for people behind me, keeps people from running in the back of you. But if you don't have a mount and you're not in Baja all the time, do you really want to have those lights just sitting out in the world for some kid to rip off or whatever? Well, check this out. Add high visibility rear lighting to any vehicle in seconds. No tools, no drilling. It's a dual chase light mount that uses heavy duty vacuum suction cups for rock solid grip on the rear glass, making it the perfect temporary solution for off-road adventures, group rides, or dusty trail rides. It's made in the USA, and it's only $158. Built Right, ind.com. Go check it out. And it also has the power tether, so you can power it off a 12 volt in your vehicle. And if you want to add the Baja Designs S2 lights, which are perfect for this application, you add $240 to it. So less than $500 and way less, right? Yeah, $158 plus $240. you can get temporary lights for the back of your Raptor, your TRX, or whatever, and keep yourself visible out in the dust. So kudos to Built Right. Really cool product. And of course, made in the USA like all of their products. So go to Built Right, builtright.com. And you guys are familiar with UEM. We had them as a sponsor on the show. The new UEM engine overhaul kits include the dual-alloy pistons that we spent a lot of time talking about, as well as the pins, locks, rings, and a premium L-ring overhaul gasket set. And you can get that as one kit for a whole lot of applications. So that's UEM, United Engine Machine, and website, uempistons.com. So great company, makes good products, and this was one of those things that caught my eye. I'm like, cool. Engine overhaul kit, all ready to go, everything you need. That's pretty bitchin'. Toyota TRD was in force at the SEMA show this year, and what's interesting about this isn't that Toyota was there. I mean, you would expect that. It's that they're making a big push into the automotive aftermarket by offering their TRD products. Now, they've done that for a long time, but this is hardcore. They are doing anodized billet control arms. I mean, beautiful stuff. It doesn't look OE, looks totally aftermarket, totally racy. So there's a bunch of different things. So first off, TRD suspension lift kit. So the thing about the lift kit is Toyota knows all of the parameters of the vehicle that the aftermarket hasn't figured out yet. They know what you need to, or they can calibrate it even, what you need to do for ADAS or parking sensors or adaptive cruise control, those things. They know how to make everything work so no lights or sensor issues happen. And they said, hey, you know what? Why buy somebody else's lift kit when you can buy the one backed by the company that made your vehicle? So the TRD lift kit for the 25 and 26 4Runner is designed for enthusiasts seeking enhanced off-road capabilities, features TRD tuned Bilstein shocks, TRD 6061 forged aluminum upper control arms. By the way, they're gorgeous. Delivering a 2.5-inch front and 2-inch rear lift. It includes front and rear coil springs, front drive shafts, lower ball joint attachments, steering, tie rod ends, and all of the necessary installation hardware. And you could also get the TRD forged billet upper control arm kits by themselves to work with whatever kit you want. So 24 plus model year Tacoma and 25 plus model year 4Runner. Again, forged billet upper control arms and the Precision Machine 6061 T6 aluminum. Direct factory replacement, retains the OE ball joints and bushings, preserves the factory NVH qualities, and ensures true bolt-on installation. Again, they're available in anodized red, bronze, or silver. All the necessary hardware looked really great. And then one last thing from TRD that this caught my eye because it was gorgeous. I mean, absolutely stunning. That's the TRD rear billet control arm 5-piece kit for the 22 plus Toyota Tundra. And the Toyota Tundra billet rear control arm kit is designed for enthusiasts seeking enhanced performance and durability. This has forged 6061 T6 aluminum control arms in red, anodizing with a protective clear coat, utilizes OE bushings, direct factory replacement, and let's face it, there's nothing wrong with factory parts. These things just look cool as hell. So kudos to TRD for coming out with some genuine accessories that you actually want on your vehicle because they look so good, and of course Toyota engineering behind it as well. You'll remember we talked to Jay over at Romer, ROMR, or Steer Smarts, about their suspension system. That was their Summit chassis system, and that's the fully optimized chassis system for the Jeep JL and JT, and it was designed as a complete system where every part is tuned for the daily driver, weekend warrior, so you get the improved off-road performance. It includes the tie rod, drag link, stabilizer, track bar, sway bars, geometry correction brackets, sector shaft reinforcement, tuned lift coils, Bilstein 5100 shocks, brackets, and bump stops. So basically an entire chassis solution. The same way that RideTech and QA1 are doing lowering kits on GMs, Romer went and said, we're going to do that on a JL or a JT. And everything is matched together as one big package that you get. And I think it's pretty cool. And you can buy the parts independently. You can head on over to steersmarts.com and find out all about the Romer suspension package. And there's a lot of options too. 2.5 or 3.5-inch springs. You can go to a 8100 optional. I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff you can do. They make great products. So again, head over to steersmarts.com. And then here's another one that you heard on the podcast, the interview with our friend Dave from Synergy Manufacturing. So that's the Synergy Jeep JLU JT Super Duty 1-ton axle swap kit, and this is super rad. So you can go to synergymfg.com to see it, but basically they take a Super Duty axle set and they make a swap kit. So it simplifies the 1-ton axle swap process. It eliminates hours of cutting, grinding, and custom fab for brackets. The Synergy FSD swap kit includes all the required frame and axle bracketry, control arms, heavy-duty steering, and an upgraded steering knuckle to allow for high steer. And then, of course, you can build on from there with different products that they have. I mean, they've got a ton of stuff. You can make it exactly what you need it to do, and it's really cool. Kudos to Dave and the team for putting that together for enthusiasts. All right, moving right along to Real Truck, and you guys will remember we spent a lot of time in their booth in the previous episode, but I just want to bring this up again. One of the products that caught my eye was the Real Truck Ascend cap, and that's the modular truck cap, and it has a 14-gauge steel frame, can support 1,200 pounds, and it implements a modular design, and then there's quick mount panels that remove, so you can do a rack-only use. It also is available body color match, which is awesome as well. They also did probably my favorite, product is the Real Truck Retrax Pro, and that is the FRC 4000, and they have a patent-pending easy-off removable canister. So think of it as a tonneau cover where the rails go into the canister, right? It rolls into that. And that canister is always taking up space. So what they did is they made it so you can retract the cover into the canister and then remove the canister from the vehicle itself, leaving just the rails behind. So you'll have full use of your bed. That's pretty awesome. Again, you can go to realtruck.com and find out all the details on that. But I believe the last episode, we had a great interview where he kind of explained that. So this was kind of a cool product too from Kurt. So Kurt Manufacturing, kurtmfg.com. It's the Kurt Helux Coil Spring Gooseneck Pin Box and features this shock absorbing technology. So think of it as a coil spring above your mount with a shock, and it reduces chucking and jarring by 30%. It's available in fifth wheel or gooseneck. I believe the gooseneck is what they released this year. Requires no break-in period. It's maintenance free, has an auto latching coupler. It's compatible with Rhino boxes, and it's approved for use on all Lippert frames without voiding the warranty. Price is a little under $2,300. It's got an automotive grade coil spring, provides a more comfortable ride. There's no break-in period, as I mentioned, no maintenance. It's compatible. Steel construction, made in the USA. Up to 20,000 pound capacity. 2350 max pin weight and limited lifetime warranty. It's one of those things that you have to go look at it. If you tow a trailer where you can use it, go check it out at kurtmfg.com. I was really impressed. The engineering looks stellar on it, and having towed a lot of goosenecks in my day, you know how that can act on the tow vehicle and even on the trailer itself. It's nice to have something that damps the forces between the tow vehicle and the tow rig. All right, there's a company called Black River by Summit, so blackriverbysummit.com, and they have a truck cap called the Matrix GT Topper with power lift. So basically, it's a metal camper shell or topper, however you want to say it, and it's cut in a clamshell, and it lifts like a trunk lid, except the whole top lifts off. Like a clamshell, like a hatchback, I guess is the best way to explain it. So the Matrix GT features a power opening mechanism that ensures full accessibility to your entire truck bed. It's a double-walled aluminum topper, comes with tamper-proof latches for security, and then a seal that protects against rain and dust. The UV-protected powder coat and DOT-rated tempered glass ensure drivability no matter what the terrain is. I just thought it was crazy looking. Basically, this topper that lifts up like a hatchback, so you have all this bed access. So again, if you are curious in finding out more, Black River by Summit. It was just cool. Caught my eye. Ford Performance brought together some products out there, and probably this is really simple, but it's something people have been asking for, and it's one of those products where you're like, yeah, of course, why wouldn't you do that? Basically, it's the Bronco Auxiliary Switch Kit. So if you have a 21 to 26 Bronco and you got it used or stupidly forgot to add the switches, you can now do it in the aftermarket directly from Ford. Perfect for when it's not factory equipped or when adding lights and accessories and you needed the aux control. It obviously seamlessly integrates with the factory. It has a factory look. Complete wiring harness is included along with the fuse block, and it's a genuine Ford auxiliary switch panel. So everything you need, hardware, everything is all there. So that's the Ford Performance Bronco Auxiliary Switch Kit. You can go to fordperformance.com or down to your local dealer and go ahead and order that. AFE, which makes intakes, had a Ram 1500 RHO air intake. And this is one of the first intakes that I think I've seen for the Hurricane high output engine. And so that's why this caught my eye. Not that it was an intake, just like I was curious what they say their power gains were. So 25, 26 Ram 1500 RHOs with straight 6, 3-liter twin turbo. They say their dyno proven performance gains are 19 horsepower and 31 pound-feet of torque. I mean, that's substantial. So if that's true, that's awesome. The Track Series air intake system delivers uncompromising performance. This intake is purpose-built to unlock the full potential of your high-output Hurricane engine with increased airflow, refined aesthetic under the hood, and weight reduction. So if you are one of those guys who said, hey, I can't believe that Ram replaced the old, ancient, ugly, inefficient, stupid V8 with my dream straight 6 with turbos, this might be the intake for you. Have you guys heard of Steinjager? Steinjager, Steinjager. So I haven't, and you can go to Jagermount.com, Jagermount. I'm not familiar with them. Maybe some of you are listening to this going, dude, you're an idiot. But they had this killer wall-mounted organization system, and it's like the modern reinterpretation of a pegboard, which was really stellar. Like I was blown away at the modularity of it, how it worked. It's really cool. It's engineered for tool users, builders, garages, workspaces. It's modular, durable, clean looking, and adapts to your Jaeger mount. Offers a bunch of different attachments. They say dozens, and a smart layout possibility for your own design. I just thought it was super cool. Go to Jagermount.com. It's one of those things that if I was redoing my garage, I would 100% consider having something like that. I thought it was really cool. Cydio. It's an American company. They do crates. Who knew that you could have a whole business off crates? But they do. So CydioCrate.com, SIDIO, and they had the Cydio Crate Camp Kitchen. They had a bunch of cool crates that are different sizes. They're super rugged. They can hold a 6,000-pound truck under it. I mean, there's really just great cases. And it's a weather-resistant design, so it protects you from water, dirt, impact, all that stuff. But they kind of upped it this year with a new kit. They sell different kits. And this was the Cydio Crate Camp Kitchen Kit. So basically they have a full box, a quarter crate that are stacked, a bamboo cutting board, lid, mats, and modular dividers for your outdoor organization, and makes you have the ability to basically build a kitchen kit in a box for whenever you go out there. I thought that was pretty cool. So CydioCrates.com if you want to check that out. All right. Also in the last episode, you probably heard me talking to Best Top about their E-Top for the Bronco or the Wrangler. 2 latches and a button. The E-Top opens, closes effortlessly. 9 fabric layers. There's comfort year-round. Rugged materials match your Jeep or Bronco for durability. You can drop the top without removing windows or getting out of your vehicle. And it basically acts like a convertible and have to push the button. But what I like is it's super quiet. So if you're tired of your OE soft top that's super loud, or you want to do more convenient open air, Best Top's the way to go. BestTop.com for the Bronco or the Wrangler. So both are pretty cool. And then Pop and Lock, they had a Toyota Tundra rear seat safe, and it fits under the seat of 2022 double cab or crew cab Tundras. It uses the OEM storage compartment, and it features a 4-dial combo locks, a split panel design for 60/40 seats. You can install it in 30 minutes. It just caught my eye as a really great security system that integrated with your OE pieces. I'm always looking for lockable storage for inside your vehicle, and the Pop and Lock stuff's pretty cool. You can go to vehiclesecurityinnovators.com to find out more. And they also had a Tacoma bed Vault XL. So if you go in the back of the SMC, the plastic Tacoma bed, there's little like cubbies, and they basically make a replaceable cover to create a secure compartment for your keys, your wallet. It's a 14-gauge steel black powder coat, 3-dial combo lock, and it basically locks that storage space in your Tacoma, and they're manufactured in the USA. So that was one of those things where both of those were cool, and I love when manufacturers or the aftermarket adds that type of security capability without taking up space or anything like that. Titan Fuel Tanks has Gen 7 2025 Ram Crew Cab, Long Bed, Cummins, Diesel, XXL fuel tanks. I think they have them for crew cab long beds. They also have them for mega cabs. Depending on which configuration you have, you can either get a 50-gallon, a 52-gallon, or a 55-gallon. They're built from XL HDPE for unmatched strength, backed by a lifetime warranty, and the tanks install easily, no cutting, and they only hang 2 inches lower than stock. And again, you can get 50, 52, or 55 gallons. So TitanFuelTanks.com if you want to check that out. And just a quick price check on their website, it's about $1,300 or so for a crew cab long bed Gen 7 fuel tanks. So pretty cool. If you're like me and you think range is more important than anything, you'll love having one of these fuel tanks. So the YJ has become really popular in recent years. You're starting to see a lot more out there. Before, it was the cheap, unloved vehicle, but it's the best of the leaf-sprung Jeeps, as some will say, and it's leaf-sprung square headlights. You know the Jeep. But Vintage Air has a low-pro custom-fit brushless fan and shroud kit. So if you're having cooling issues or you need more cooling capability, this bolt-in variable-speed fan shroud assembly delivers maximum cooling performance with a 16-inch SPAL 500-watt skewed blade brushless fan and model-specific laser-cut metal shroud. There's a PWM, pulse width modulation control, that responds to cooling system demands to maintain a consistent engine temp, and the kit includes radiator hose adapter and a complete 6-gauge power wiring harness. And I just know a lot of people with YJs who are getting them, and they're like, man, this cooling system needs some help. So I thought, hey, that's a pretty good one for that crowd as well. And High Lift, I love the guys at High Lift. I know the jack is what it is. It's a agricultural implement that is really a tool that off-roaders have come to love over the years. And they have a new one called the Stealth Jack. It's basically their Stealth series. It's their Extreme Jack, but it's now in a rugged matte black textured finish. So you lift, winch, clamp, and spread with ease. And it's got an updated winch clamp spreader. There's a bunch of features for secure rigging and versatile recovery. It's available in 48 or 60-inch. It's sleek, it's rugged, it's built for anything, and now it's in black. You can go to highlift.com. And then the last one before we end this episode of the parade of new products. I'm sure you're probably tired of me talking about it, but the Transfer Flow 46-gallon Ram gasoline replacement fuel tank system. And so this is kind of cool. Elevate your Ram 2500, 3500 crew cab short bed gas pickup with a Transfer Flow 46-gallon replacement fuel tank system. It's engineered for the 21 to 24 models. It's passed OVR testing. It's made from 12-gauge aluminite steel for strength and corrosion resistant, and it includes all the parts that you need to install. And the reason you don't see a lot of gasoline replacement tanks, you see transfer tanks instead, is because the emissions testing is crazy. And that's why the diesels are different, because they just don't off gas, and it's different. The gas tanks, because of the emissions testing, is really hard. So the fact that they did this, 6-year warranty, made in the USA, again, passed the ORVR emissions test, that's huge. It also comes with everything you need to mount it seamlessly in the stock fuel tank space. So it mounts inside the frame rail. There's no skid plate required. It includes new straps and mounting hardware. Internal baffles to prevent fuel slosh, and it's powder coated satin black. So I saw that and I was like, you just don't see that many tanks for gas trucks. A lot of companies don't want to put the effort into it. And so for Transfer Flow to come up with a gas tank that passed all the emissions testing, that's huge. I would definitely grab that 46-gallon replacement if I had a 2500, 3500 crew cab short bed gas pickup. So again, you go to transferflow.com, and you can head to transferflow.com, and that'll set you back about $2,800. So there you have it. That's a lot of products. I mean, there was a lot I didn't even tell you about. I was trying to keep this to about an hour, and I think I'm fairly close to that. So hopefully when I edit it out, it'll be about an hour. But figured you'd like to come along and hear about all the great stuff that was at SEMA. But that'll do it for part 4 of our SEMA coverage. And we've got one more SEMA episode before we return to our regularly scheduled programming.
The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show, oh, oh.
Thank you, AMSOIL, Kershaw Knives, and OVR Magazine for making the show possible. And don't forget to go to truckshowpodcast.com to take advantage of our promotions. And tell me what you think of the SEMA coverage, or just what you think in general. I know it's a little bit different this year, me being on my own, but I think I did a good job trying to bring you a lot of different stuff from the show. And our next episode will be a bunch of SEMA truck builders through Toro, which is the truck and off-road alliance through SEMA, and they do like a showcase. So I hit as many of those guys as possible to talk about all their various rigs, and super cool. But anyway, leave me some feedback, truckshowpodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave a message on the 5-star hotline, 657-205-6105. I love hearing from you guys. And of course, don't forget to go to facebook.com and join the Podshed Insiders. And can't wait to do it again soon. Guess I'll see you guys for the next one.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis, hosted by Sean Holman, and uses production elements by DJ Omar Khan and Jay Tillis. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and leave us a 5-star review. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to support the show than by sharing it and patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.